3-year-old Harold Becker came to Cedar Rapids with his family in 1925 when the Becker family purchased People's Grocery. It's here that his initial business experience began.
When I was 5 years old, I used to go down to my dad's grocery store, which is down on 3rd Avenue, a little grocery store. And I was 5 years old. He allowed me to put cans on the shelves. When I was about 8 or 9 years old, he allowed me to wait on customers in the grocery store. And when I was about 12, I started making change in the cash registers. And when I was 13, I started doing other things, and I just progressed into it as progression. And it wasn't child labor. I mean, it was something I wanted to do. Back in the days where there used to be play money. I don't know if they still have play money or not, but the gum machines had play money, and the newspapers had play money, and prophetically, I was the banker of the neighborhood with the play money back then. We're talking about the 1929, 30, 31, 32.
An important part of Harold's business leadership was developed in his early 20s while serving as a naval officer in World War II.
I was only 20 or 21 years old. Here I was, an officer of men that were 35 and 40 and 45 years old, and they were listening to me as leadership, and I didn't know near as much as they did about what I was doing, but it developed me into being understanding that I had some capabilities that I didn't know I had.
The Becker family history in real estate continued in 1941 with the purchase of the Guarantee Bank building. And upon his return from naval service in 1946, Harold served as the manager of the Maine People's Grocery Store. In 1954, national grocery store operator Piggly Wiggly purchased the People's Grocery Stores. And from there, Harold and his father went full-time into the real estate business. Harold's real estate business leadership includes serving as president of Acme Investment Company, founder and president of Bel Air Incorporated, president of Home Investment Company, and founder and president of the Cedar Hills Development.
Post-World War II, there was a housing shortage in Cedar Rapids, and there was a company, a plant, wanted to move into Cedar Rapids. It was a big plant, but they needed 400 rental homes. And there was no way of getting 400 rental homes. And a friend of mine came to me and said, "Do you think we could do it?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "How?" And so I described my method of doing it. He said, "Let's do it." So with that is the end result of Cedar Hills, and the whole Cedar Hills Northwest area out there was started by me, and it was my creation and my baby. It's now hatched into a much bigger egg, and now it's an ostrich egg, not a chicken egg, but it's done. It was one of my accomplishments, one of my creations that I've been kind of proud of.
Harold joined the Guarantee Bank Board of Directors in 1965 and became chairman of Guarantee Bank in 1972.
The way he acquired the Guarantee Bank was in a most difficult period. That's when interest rates were very, very high. Money was very tight when he purchased the bank with another person from Van Vechten Schaefer. But it was a very, very difficult time, and he's very proud of that because he's come through a difficult period, and of course now we're seeing the results.
In the early 70s, Harold established the Guarantee Bank Charitable Trust Fund to reinvest in charitable community organizations.
I've always had a deep feeling that you have to pay your civic rent. If you live in a community, I think you should pay your civic rent by serving on boards. And for instance, I was president of the Cedar Rapids Symphony for a number of years. I was also on the board of the Lynn County Art Museum. And I said I always felt that we needed culture in this community. We needed more culture. And in order to make the city grow, I've also served on other civic boards, a number of them that I won't get into in detail. But always, if there was a need, I always felt that it was my responsibility to try to fill that need the best I could.
Years of service to his work, his family, and his community have earned Harold many honors and awards, but even more so, the respect of his peers.
Leadership, impact, integrity, community, and finally, modesty are the words that describe Hal Becker.
He's made a lot of decisions that were helpful, particularly in the area of nonprofits, where his bank would be the lead bank on a loan that looked shakier to other banks, but it was one of the ways in which he could take as a businessman his role and make a major contribution by putting together a consortium of banks to make the loans to a number of nonprofits that other banks were not willing to lead on.
He really takes the initiative, and he has a mind to do that, and that's a very, very good trait.
I think that the history of Hal Becker and his success from a modest beginning to where he is right now is a perfect example of what junior achievement is all about.